Okay, you know the drill. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what you're seeing outside your window. I know for us, we're seeing a few rain drops and cloudy conditions as well. Well, thanks to the tropical moisture coming in. And we told you about this a few days ago. So again, let me know where you're watching from. If you can see the red live button on the top hand of this screen, that means this is live in real time. If you can no longer see it, this is now a recording. It is Wednesday, September 11th, and the time now is 12:07 p.m. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to focus quite a bit on the tropics, specifically the tropical system that eventually has turned into Hurricane Francine. Now, I'm saying we're focusing specifically on Francine because there are a few other areas of interest in the Atlantic. In fact, we now have a potential tropical cyclone 7 that is in the Atlantic that could become our next named storm. But again, we're focusing on Francine. So right now, we can see a well-defined eye with Francine. Francine still considered a Category 1 hurricane, and a Category 1 hurricane at that with max sustained winds of 90 miles per hour, but some wind gusts have been reported of 115 miles per hour as this moves to the northeast at about 13 miles per hour. Specifically, the eye is moving to the northeast at 13 miles per hour. And I'm saying that because whenever you see this thing in motion, you can see some of the bands moving from west to east, very similar to how our rain in North Texas is moving from east to west, specifically how our rain in North Texas is moving from east to west. And again, we'll continue to watch this because it will bring in rain here locally, not just right now, but throughout the course of the afternoon as well. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through the track of this. So again, this still has a little bit of time to strengthen. The center of circulation, or the eye, is sitting over very warm water. Climatologically speaking, September 10th is the peak of hurricane season, and that's when we had this turn into a hurricane. So very active time of the year for the tropics, and we're seeing that certainly come true in the Gulf. So this will likely make landfall as a Category 1 hurricane. Max sustained winds, this particular track has it at about 90 miles per hour, but I have seen a few models indicating that wind speeds could be a bit higher at landfall, either high-end Category 1, low-end Category 2. Either way you put it, it's going to be a strong, impactful storm for the Louisiana coastline. Areas on the right-hand side of the storm. You'll sometimes hear meteorologists call this the dirty side of the storm. And what that means is that this right-hand side, so this area right here, the dirty side, basically all that means is that that's where we see the highest impacts. That's where we see the heaviest rain. That's where we see the strongest storm surge. And that's also where we see the highest threat for severe weather in terms of tornadic activity. So not ruling out tornadoes with this system as it works its way inland on the right-hand side of the track, meaning southeast Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, maybe even parts of the Florida Panhandle. So we'll see this move and progress towards the northeast. So it'll make landfall this afternoon. And then as it approaches Baton Rouge, it is going to weaken. I'm thinking by the time the center of circulation makes it over Baton Rouge, it'll be considered a tropical storm. Either way, very heavy rainfall inland. Those wind speeds, 35, 40 miles per hour, that's still enough to cause some damage whenever you have such a saturated ground. Louisiana has seen rain not just because of this tropical system, but last week there was a system that brought in quite a bit of heavy rainfall, so the soil there is already pretty saturated. So this will continue a trek kind of following the Mississippi. It's going to move into Mississippi, it's going to move into western Tennessee as we approach Friday. So it's going to take all of that moisture right along the Mississippi and carry it northward. And all that whole time, Texas is staying on the dry side of the storm. There we go. As far as how much rain, well, this is not including what's already fallen. So additional rain, 3 to 5 inches, really where that center of circulation is, but it's going to vary depending on where those bands of heavy rain set up. 3 to 5 additional inches of rain, maybe higher. Some forecast models are calling for 8 to 10 inches of rainfall, and that's not including the storm surge. Remember, there are two different kinds of water whenever we're talking about tropical systems. There's fresh water that's falling from the sky, and then there's salt water, that's water that's getting pushed inland because of the strong wind speeds at the surface. So what we're looking at right now is freshwater or rainfall, 3 to 5 inches possible. And there is a very sharp cutoff whenever you get to the left-hand side of the track. When we're talking about areas of western Louisiana and eastern Texas, we're looking at maybe 1/10 of an inch for us locally, but areas in East Texas, 1/4 of an inch, maybe an inch of rainfall closer to Shreveport, areas of northern Louisiana, and then it drastically goes up as really following the center of circulation with this system. So here is really the location of the tropical storm watches and the warnings. We are looking at hurricane warnings right around where Francine is set to make landfall, and then right outside of that tropical storm warning. The only difference between a hurricane warning and the tropical storm warning is a difference in wind speed. So the highest wind speeds, of course, expected right around the location that will be seeing landfall. Let's talk storm surge. This is a different kind of flooding. Remember, we already talked about the rainfall. That's freshwater. This is saltwater flooding, and this is because of the high winds at the surface that just pushes this water inland. The highest storm surge will be right around the eye and to the right hand side of the eye. So we're looking at 5 to 10 feet. Areas like Grand Isle could see 4 to 7 feet. Areas like New Orleans could see 2 to 5 feet of water get pushed inland. Areas in southeast Texas likely won't see a high storm surge, but 1 to 2 feet. National Hurricane Center is calling for 1 to 3 feet of water, and that's anywhere from Galveston to about Beaumont area. All right. So here is a look at really just how widespread this rain is, pretty much now engulfing all of southeast Louisiana, areas of southern Mississippi, coastal Alabama, and even a small portion of the Florida Panhandle. But look at how that tropical moisture is now getting carried into East Texas, areas of North Texas. If you are like me, you've been watching this pretty closely, and I've been watching just cameras across all the Metroplex, and I've just seen this cloud cover move in as the morning has progressed, and even some showers already coming in as well. And here is a look at the rainfall closer to North Texas. You see very light rain along the I-35 corridor. Again, this stuff is moving from east to west, and it's because of that natural motion of a tropical system that's coming inland, with the heaviest rain in East Texas, and then it tapers off by the time it makes it to the I-35 corridor. Very light showers in the area. A lot of cloud cover, a lot of tropical moisture. So very different feeling in the air from the last few days. So early in the week, if you live in North Texas, you experience the fall-like conditions, the crisp air, the chilly mornings. In fact, Monday morning, we dropped to 59 degrees. The first time North Texas, or DFW specifically, has been below 60 degrees since April 23rd, so quite some time, and now just completely different, all thanks to the tropical moisture. So whenever we have so much humidity in the air, our temperature does struggle to cool down overnight, which is why it felt so much warmer this morning than it has the last few mornings. It's because of that increase in tropical moisture. Okay, so I'm going to leave this radar up for a little bit. I'm going to check some of the comments, see if there are any questions so far that I haven't answered. Okay, I think I've covered it so far. All right, let's talk about local impacts. So specifically in North Texas, again, the heaviest rain, the highest coverage of rain will be along our eastern counties. In fact, the Metroplex, only about 20% of the area is going to see the rain. The more southeast you are, the higher your rain potential, the higher your rain coverage, and the heavier your rain will be, just because of proximity to Hurricane Francine. So here's what it looks like on your timecast between noon and about 5 in the afternoon. You'll start to see still the cloud cover. You may see a few breaks in the clouds, but for the most part, expect a cloudy day. You're going to see some rounds of showers, maybe a brief downpour. I'm not expecting severe weather this afternoon, but we could see those brief downpours. And a lot of this stuff just really starts to kind of break up, lower coverage between 7 and 8, and between 8 and midnight, I do think that we'll see a few lingering showers, but I'm not expecting this to last into the overnight hours. I'm expecting a lot of that moisture to stay to the east of North Texas. So your planner for today, expect about 20% coverage. Temperature is still going to climb. I'm thinking about 86 degrees around 2. I'm thinking closer to about 87 degrees around 3 if we see a break in the clouds. If we don't see that break, temperatures are really going to struggle to warm up today. Winds out of the east or northeast, it's going to vary because we have this large system that's not that far from us that is impacting our surface level winds. So you'll notice that the winds shift, well, if you pay attention to winds, you'll notice the winds shift just a tad as the afternoon and evening goes on. And I believe that is my last slide. So after today, temperatures are going to be climbing. We're talking 90s for this weekend, upper 90s at that. Today, we're trending cooler than what's considered normal for this time of the year, which is about 90 degrees. This weekend will be in the upper 90s. The humidity actually will stick around this time, so it's going to feel like the triple digits over the weekend. Heat index up to 105 because of the high dew point, because of that humidity just sticking around. So I need you to be prepped for that. On the other side of the weekend, we're looking at highs in the low 90s. We're going to be trending warmer than what's considered normal for this time of the year. All right, that is the end of the update. If you have any additional questions, we do have a full blog with updates on WFAA.com. Be sure to check that out. You can also stay updated right here on our social media accounts. Our YouTube page has a constant stream of the hurricane tracker, and you can watch that coming in as it makes landfall this afternoon. And of course, you can watch Jesse, Kyle, and Pete this afternoon as well. They'll be tracking this as it makes its way inland.